I'd like to welcome each and every individual to the Voices of Integrity for Young Men. And this is going to be a podcast series like you've never experienced ever in your life before. I can pretty much assure you. If you're a young man, there's going to be parts that you're going to be absolutely blown away and say, whoa, that's crazy. Like, wow. There's going to be things that you're going to get really ticked. And you might throw your smartphone, against the wall or in the river or something. Don't do that. Control your anger. It'll be fine. Like, hopefully this gets you thinking and sharing it with not only young men, but what about young women? What about older men, older women? Like it's crazy. And so I'm excited to do this. We're going to have different guests on today. We have Tim on today. And so we're going to be talking about about the amiable personality. And so there's, which of the four shapes would you tend to like the most? A cube, a pyramid, wavy line, or ball? 1, 2, 3, and 4. And which of these four things would cause you most frustration? Out of order, out of control, boring or not fun, or conflict with others? 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you chose the amiable, the ball, or the conflict with others, that'd be the amiable personality. So one of your greatest strengths as a young man is your concern, compassion for people. One of your weaknesses as a young man is your concern, compassion for people. So our greatest strength is our greatest weakness, and our greatest weakness is just our greatest strength misapplied. It's taking a strength and carrying it too far. If you chose the cube second or out of order second, another strength you'd have is you'd like to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order. A weakness would be the same. So you'd have a double portion of less assertive. You tend to be less assertive with people. You tend to be less assertive with tasks. And so this is the type of personality that my dad was. And so sometimes people mistakenly mistake their kindness for weakness. Don't do that. So the strength is very different for a young man that has this energy than maybe this energy over here, over on the right-hand side. So combined together, one of your strengths, if you're a ball or a ball cube, or, conflict with others, out of order, if you're that type of personality, one of your combined strengths would be your tenacity. Like once you set your mind to do something, you do it. One of your weaknesses, you might be a tad stubborn at times, and you have lots of data to back it up. And so your bedrock concrete, once you set your mind to do something, it's bedrock. It's not going to change. If you chose secondary as the pyramid or out of control, you'd be a amiable driver. So one of your greatest strengths might be your drive, assertiveness. You make things happen. Weakness would be the same. Because they cross over, you're going to have a lot of inner conflict. And so this is where they get the term passive aggressive. The amiable driver is going to be passive first, and if things don't work, then they get aggressive. This was not necessarily bad. Obviously, passive aggressive used improperly, just like anything else used improperly, can be bad. If you chose the wavy line secondary, or boring or not fun, you'd be amiable, expressive personality. And so one of your greatest strengths, secondary strength, would be your energy, excitement, enthusiasm. You have a million ideas. Weaknesses would be energy, excitement, and enthusiasm. You have a million ideas. Make sure that you join the Life GPS mobile app, because that'll give you a lot more information into, all of these different things and connect you with some really cool people and all of that kind of stuff. If you're an amiable, expressive, one of your greatest combined, you're going to have a double portion of people. And so people are going to like you a lot because you're funny, outgoing, you love people, you love to be around people, a lot of energy, and you're kind. So you're fun and you're kind. The downside of your personality is going to be you're going to have a hard time getting tasks done. As a young man, we tend to as young men, we tend to go ahead and like other people who are like us, and we fall in love with people who are opposite of us. And so part of podcast Voices of Integrity for Podcast for Young Men is going to be relationships. And so you're free to go ahead and, come up with questions, or what are you facing as a young man? Or if you're a young woman, and you're in a relationship with a young man, what do you want to know about young men? Or if you're a parent of a young man, or a boss of a young man, or a peer, or whatever you are, if you don't understand something, definitely go ahead and let us know. Tim, is amiable as a young man for an amiable, I think these types of young men will often go ahead and be misunderstood. Thoughts, questions, insights on the amiable young man, Tim?
So I definitely think that a lot of times, a lot of the personalities are misunderstood. But with the amiable, not being able to get certain tasks done, um, and falling in love with someone that's the opposite of you. Me and you were talking the other day where we were saying that if sometimes that you have this idea of this partner in your head, and you have this idea of this partner in your head, and you want to go get this partner, but let's say you meet this partner when you're at a 40% level of productivity, and they're at 100, they're not going to want to do anything with you. And so you got to find that drive, because you might find the right partner at the wrong time.
Interesting. So if you're confused as what Tim said, you're not the only one. His brain is absolutely amazing. It's almost like it goes deep down in. It's like, whoa, like whoa, like whoa, what did he just say? Like, right? And so there could be a right person out there. There could be a right person out there, but if we're not who we need to be, could be, should be, that person's looking for, let's say that you're struggling with relationships now. What would I recommend? I'd recommend drawing a circle and listing everything you're passionate about. Then what I would do is talk to somebody, register in the mobile app, and you'd be assigned an art buddy, an atomic ripple reaction tree buddy, a mentor rather. And they can help you discover your life vision. Like, why were you put on this planet? Like, my understanding is, I think the testosterone in young men has dropped by 30% in the last 10 years. There's some in this world would say that's a good thing. I would not. I think that testosterone is built and created to do spectacular things in the world. Yes, it can be used for harm, no question about it. It can get young men into a lot of issues, no question about it. But it can also bring tremendous success and peace and harmony to testosterone used properly. So why is there such a testosterone drop? In my opinion, it's because of addictions. And Tim and I have done a whole series on addictions. And so, Voices of Integrity for Addictions, I would encourage you to go in and take a look at some of those things. Real quick, I don't know if we've got this here. Yeah, we do. So, in the mental health arena, what do amiables have challenges with? Panic attack, passive aggressive stress, post traumatic PTSD, anxiety, social phobias. And then you add to that whatever your secondary personality is. So if you're, an amiable, driver personality, you're defiant, poor conduct, disruptive, sexual disorders, oppositional, physical abuse. Like, what a mess I could be in. But all of these have positive things in them too. And so it's not just negative, they're positive. Or if you're an amiable, analytic personality, your disorder is pride, disassociation, major depression, bipolar dysthymia, which is consistent depression. If you're an amiable, expressive personality, you'd have narcissism, ADD, ADHD, addictions, eating disorders, explosive drama, obsessive compulsive. And if you're a chameleon personality, which we'll get into as well, like my good friend Tom Kuntz, you'll have all of these disorders, but they all come with strengths too. So it's like hard, it's good. So I think that there's, the young male, I think in today's society, sadly so, is often coddled. They're not taught how to be men, like suck it up, buttercup, just push through it. I think the amiable is often misunderstood significantly as being a weak man. My dad was not a weak man. I mean, in some ways, he was. Just like I'm a driver analytic, and so there'd be very few people that would say, Mark, you're a weak man. But in some ways, I am. But it's very different than my dad. Very, very different. Like very, 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 very different. And so I think with the amiable, what I would encourage you is, you're going to probably be taken advantage of by other people. Why? Well, there's a number of reasons. One is you like to serve other people. So the other three personalities love to be served. You love to serve. You serve them. They like it, you like it. They see, wow, Tim's an amiable. He likes to serve me. And so I'm going to get him to serve me more because he'll like it more and I'll like it more. And I do that. And what does Tim do? He enjoys it more. And I enjoy it more. What could possibly go wrong with that? Until one day Tim wakes up and says, dang, they're taking advantage of me. And then he snaps. So the amiable is like a volcano, like they're fine and fine and fine and fine, and then they snap. There's also some that, and I'm married to an amiable for 39 years. And I just realized a year ago, another reason they get taken advantage of by people is they take advantage of other people. Like, what? How would I do that? Because they're super good at manipulation. They're nice to other people, and so other people don't want to tell them the truth. And they often go ahead and get the 9 Ds: defend, deny, destroy, destruct, defer. Like they have all of these things that, so they're like the chameleon of the four personalities too. And so again, as a young man, very, very powerful, you will, tend to be attracted to a woman who's a driver personality. And so she likes to control. The amiable likes to be controlled. So it works out good until it doesn't. But what the driver doesn't realize is the amiable is the one actually controlling them. Like it's the weirdest thing. Like it's like if you ask my kids, my 7 kids, or anybody that knows us, who's more controlling, your dad or your mom? They'd probably say, my dad is far more controlling. What they don't understand, which I didn't understand until a few years ago, my wife is far more controlling than me. I am far, far. She just does it in such a way nobody even knows that they're being controlled. With me, it's through what's called hard power. She uses soft power. So hard power is just either strength, emotionally, positionally, whatever. And so you just force it. Sometimes you have to use hard power. You just do. But soft power is far more potent potential for good and for bad. And so you start getting into this and you want to share with other people and say, man, this thing is absolutely awesome. So there's no, like, every strength is a weakness. Every weakness, the strength, every weakness comes from a strength being taken too far. And so again, share your questions, share your thoughts, share with other people. What are your questions? Share those with us, and then your experiences, and pass this along to others. Any other closing comments for podcast for the Voices of Integrity for Young Men?
I don't think I have anything, no.
All right. So what's the final thought for the amiable? Here's something I think will challenge you. Okay. You're not as kind and caring as you think you are. You're not as kind and caring as you think you are. So if you're nice to everybody else and you tell everybody else what they want to hear, they likely are going to tell you what you want to hear. And everybody's happy until they're not. So your closest friends, they know who you are, and they know sometimes you're not a nice person at all. And so helping us to understand, I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, the quantum feeling model. Let's not be entitled. Let's be thankful. Let's not be self-righteous and think that we're better than everybody else, but let's have humility. Let's not be a victim. Let's take ownership. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.